Life tested Job in every way, but through it all his faith never broke. Join me as we uncover his powerful story.
In the ancient land of Uz lived a man named Job. He was known as a man of integrity, described as blameless and upright, one who feared God and shunned evil. Job was immensely wealthy, possessing thousands of sheep, camels, oxen, and donkeys, along with a large household. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and his life was marked by prosperity and piety. Regularly, Job would offer burnt sacrifices on behalf of his children, fearing they might have sinned in their hearts. One day, in the divine courts of heaven, the sons of God presented themselves before the Lord, and among them was Satan, the adversary. God spoke of Job's righteousness, but Satan challenged this, suggesting that Job's faithfulness was due to his prosperity. He argued that if Job were to lose his blessings, he would surely curse God. Accepting the challenge, God permitted Satan to test Job, allowing him to take away all that Job possessed, but not to harm him physically. Satan unleashed calamities upon Job. Marauders stole his oxen and donkeys, fire from heaven consumed his sheep, and raiders took his camels. Worst of all, a great wind collapsed the house where his children were feasting, killing them all. In his grief, Job tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground in worship, saying, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Again, Satan appeared before God, arguing that Job remained faithful only because he was physically unharmed. God allowed Satan to afflict Job's body, but spared his life. Satan struck Job with painful sores from head to toe. Job sat among ashes, scraping his sores with a piece of broken pottery. His wife, witnessing his suffering, urged him to curse God and die. Job responded, "Shall we receive good from God, and shall we not receive evil?" 3 of Job's friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, came to comfort him. They sat with him in silence for 7 days and nights, overwhelmed by his suffering. When Job finally spoke, he cursed the day of his birth, lamenting his existence and expressing a deep desire for death. The bulk of the book of Job consists of poetic dialogues between Job and his friends. Each friend, in turn, suggests that Job's suffering must be a result of some sin. Eliphaz speaks of visions and the idea that humans cannot be pure before God. Bildad emphasizes the justice of God, implying that Job's children must have sinned. Zophar is more direct, accusing Job of wrongdoing and urging him to repent. Job, maintaining his innocence, challenges their assumptions, questioning why the wicked often prosper while the righteous suffer. Job delivers several monologues, expressing his despair and longing for an audience with God. He reflects on the fleeting nature of life, the inevitability of death, and the apparent indifference of God to human suffering. Despite his anguish, Job continues to assert his integrity and seeks an explanation for his plight. A younger man named Elihu, who had been listening to the debates, becomes angry with both Job and his friends. He criticizes the friends for failing to refute Job and rebukes Job for justifying himself rather than God. Elihu speaks of God's greatness, justice, and the idea that suffering can be a means of instruction and refinement. Finally, God answers Job out of a whirlwind. Rather than providing direct answers, God poses a series of rhetorical questions, highlighting the vastness of creation and Job's limited understanding. He speaks of the foundations of the earth, the boundaries of the sea, the paths of light and darkness, and the behaviors of various animals. God's discourse emphasizes his omnipotence and the complexity of the universe, suggesting that human beings cannot fully grasp divine wisdom. Confronted with the majesty and mystery of God's creation, Job responds with humility. He acknowledges his limitations and repents for questioning God's purposes. Job says, "I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes." God rebukes Job's friends for not speaking rightly about him and instructs them to offer sacrifices, with Job praying on their behalf. God accepts Job's intercession, and subsequently, Job's fortunes are restored. He receives double his previous wealth, has more children, 7 sons and 3 daughters, and lives to see 4 generations. Job dies old and full of days, having experienced both profound suffering and abundant blessing. The story of Job delves deep into the complexities of human suffering, divine justice, and the nature of faith. It challenges the simplistic notion that good is always rewarded and evil always punished. Job's unwavering faith amidst inexplicable suffering serves as a testament to the human capacity for resilience and trust in the divine, even when answers are elusive.
Today's word is endurance. What do you think? Do you have another word that describes Job's story in a nutshell? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment below. See you in the next Bible story.